is my favorite part of the show every day. I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. We're just starting. We might be live. The other day I thought I was live and we weren't.
We
So I'm
weren't.
going to double check.
Well, there's a little live button.
Well, because you're live on the lives on this, but you might not be live on the channels. So I have to go around and check now.
Great.
But I think we are. I think we are. I think we did it, Joe. Look, by Thursday. Now I'm a producer and an editor. I'm everyone.
Yeah, famously, that's what I know about you. You're a producer, an editor, and a scholar.
Yeah, because you know, what else are we going to do? What else can we do?
We're live.
See that we're live. Are we live on TikTok also?
We're on Instagram.
No, we're on Instagram. We're on YouTube.
Hey, fam.
Seems like TikTok we're live. I guess we'll roll. We'll roll. Oh, trouble. Here we go. Let's see if it lets me fix it now. Remove TikTok from the stream. Re-add TikTok to the stream. Other platforms. This is what we do. Lisandra is at the airport. Why don't you tell us how things are going at the airport? How long was your TSA and all?
Okay, so this morning I flew out of Atlanta, and of course TSA we're in the partial shutdown because of the Democrats.
Of course. Yes. Yeah, of course. The Democrats have proposed 5 times now to fund TSA.
Yeah, yes. But it's because Joe Biden.
Yeah.
And but no, the airport line was extremely long this morning. At Atlanta, and I have pre-check, clear, and all that stuff, but so that wasn't open. Clear wasn't open, and you had to no digital ID. They weren't doing that today. I don't know if it was because it was before 6 a.m. Sometimes those things aren't available before 6 a.m. at airports.
Right.
It went by quick. It was efficient, but there was just a lot of people, and they're understaffed. So it took me probably about 30 some minutes to get through, where usually I'm 10. And it was just it's also just visually frustrating to see that many people ahead of you,
isn't it?
Yeah,
especially
I've got there early, but yeah.
I was supposed to go to South by Southwest, and oh girl, and I'm so devastated because I was going to get to go to the Alanis Morissette concert. I could give a shit about the rest of the programming. Alanis Morissette, I was like, yes. No, couldn't. The day before in DC, there was suspicious package, and so I freaked out. And then the next day, they canceled my flight, delayed my flight, canceled it, delayed it. And then I finally said to the girl, I was like, I should get my bag, right? And she was like, I would. And I was like, okay, thanks. Okay. Thank you, sister friend. Flight's canceled, got my bag, rented a car, drove 7 hours back to Rochester. I was like, fuck it. I'm done. I'm done trying to travel.
In this weird, it's a weird time, man.
Dude.
Yeah.
Every
day there's something.
For folks who might not know you yet, and I'm sorry that they don't because you're friggin' hysterical, Lisandra Vasquez, hysterical. You may know her best as the Caroline Levitt impersonator on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube.
Yeah, I don't. It's nice because it's like Hannah Montana.
Yeah.
Whenever I do my sketches, I wear so many costumes that people don't recognize me out of drag. Yes. So it's nice.
You don't have people come up to you at the airport and they're like, Caroline, is that you?
Yeah. No, thank God. Well, not when I'm dressed as Christy Nome either. Well, she's not going to be we got Mark Wayne. That's maybe going to get confirmed. Is he going to get confirmed, we think? They usually do.
They usually do. It's very unusual for somebody to not. I don't think that he should be. He certainly does not have the skills, talent, or temperament. Mark Wayne, no skill, talent, or temperament. I thought that Rand Paul absolutely read him for filth yesterday, which I loved.
That was good.
Loved. And he just, there has to be somebody better. I think this is the key difference for me between Trump 1.0 and 2.0. 1.0, a lot of people who are serious and smart people were willing to work for him and sort of hold him to a level of some kind of normal.
Right.
This time, oh no, babies. It is all loyalists, all cronies, all grifters and scammers.
Yeah. This guy is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he follows me on Instagram.
Mark Wayne?
Have I told you this? I told you this?
No. Oh my God, tell me everything about it.
Guys. Mark Wayne. follows me on Instagram because I made a video about the origin of his name. It's a very silly video where I like go like I play his mother and the lady that was trying to take down his name, and by the end of it, they just sound like they're going mark 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 mark. Um, he liked the video and then he followed me, and I was like,
that's a threat.
oh, well, also, oh, he's dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
Like he doesn't know that I'm making fun of him. Dumb.
No. He's like, oh my God, I'm famous.
But you know what? I'm gonna hit him with a follow back as soon as he gets confirmed. You know what I mean? Because I want that direct line.
You need mutuals with him, absolutely.
Yeah,
especially
not because I like him, but I need a direct line to in case I get stuck at the airport.
Yeah, a name like Lisandra Vasquez, I feel like you need an in with Homeland Security at this point in our life.
Yeah. No, for sure. That's what I need. I need to DM the head of ICE.
Huh? Yeah. Maybe you can change him, he'll be like,
yeah,
I like that gal. She's funny. It's like how people say to me, I didn't really like gay people until I met you. And now I'm like, oh, okay. And I'm like, okay. Like, if I'm your icebreaker, I'm happy to be that for you.
That's great. Yeah. And he'll be like, and then once I say something wrong, he'll be like, deport her. And be like, well, Puerto Rico's anyway. Yeah. I don't have time to explain that to him. He won't comprehend it anyway.
No. Do you think the administration does follow you, though? You think Caroline Leavitt follows you? She must. She's got to watch.
Not from her main.
Yeah, from her burner.
For sure. I'm sure she has a burner.
Yeah.
Yeah, she has to. They're too obsessed. I think they're too obsessed with themselves and how they're perceived to not be aware of the discourse around their image and likeness.
Right. And they want to be famous. They like being celebrities. They see
that's all they want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many crosses do you have now?
That's a beautiful question. I have over 200 for sure. I started I redecorated like my office studio, and so like behind me I started doing like a cross wall.
Yeah.
And I had somebody come over the other day to help me clean some stuff out who didn't know me. And so she was like, she looked at me and she goes, so may I ask what you do for work? Because I have like wigs and costumes and
exorcisms. Yeah, exorcisms mostly.
And I was like, well, I'm a crafty Christian.
Yeah.
So
the new trad life movement.
Sam Good Trouble.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my friend Sam, I texting him like a Goodwill haul that I did for Erica Kirk. I was like, check this out. I got so much sequins. And then I was like, I wonder what they think of me. And he was like, I think that they probably just think that you're a Republican woman experiencing financial hardship. Like they think that you are just Republican.
I'm like, straight up Michaels is like, oh God, she's back. She's back.
Yeah.
Now you got the sequence for the Widow Kirk, but do you have the fireworks and pyrotechnics? Like, what's the budget like? If you're going to take on Kirk, I mean, that's a big one.
Listen, it is the budget is small for our special effects on Creator Land, but I do have CapCut, and that does help. They do have I've become very familiar with the fireworks special effects feature.
We have a question from the audience. Will you be making a cross out of baby bottles when Caroline Leavitt gives birth?
That's beautiful. And I've already made one of baby bottles and baby food. I've got some baby shoes that I haven't used yet. I'm gonna do diapers. I'm gonna do the whole gamut. When she has the baby, I do have to film her. I just keep getting we just keep getting so many other things happening. I haven't done like her baby shower yet.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Did you think like
and her picking out the baby registry?
Yes. Yeah. There's so much to do. Picking out, F-15s and bombs. When you decided you were going to be a comedian, did you think that it was going to take you to political comedy, or like what's your origin story? How bullied were you as a child?
Well,
because you're very funny, so it had to be pretty bad.
Well, because I think it's because I learned to speak English when I was 8.
Oh,
So we
okay.
moved from Puerto Rico to Ohio when I was 8, and so I had to learn to speak English and like get used to American culture guerrilla style because we were just like,
Boom.
um, so I do think that like a lot of my ability to communicate and tell stories came from watching television,
Hmm.
and I was very much that was like I watch probably too much television, to be honest with you. Like I Love Lucy, Nick at Night, all those shows. Like I was just constantly watching that, and I think that's just how I learned timing and how to
Hmm.
like efficiently tell a story. Uh, and I always kind of wanted to be an actor from as a child, but I didn't know. I mean, I don't know how to do that because my mom is a doctor.
Mm.
And I'm not like saying that to like brag. I just want you to know she's disappointed
I was gonna say.
that I do this. But so that's fun.
Yeah.
And
Ohio is a pick from Puerto Rico.
yeah, I know,
Did
isn't
she
that
get like
crazy?
assigned to Ohio or something?
She had a couple. Well, she had some friends from medical school that were up there, so she knew
Okay.
somebody. And so that's why she picked that
What
spot.
part of Ohio though? Because there's many types of Ohio.
North Canton. So we were
That is
northeast.
where my wife is from. Literally
Sh-
that exact town.
Shut
She's
up!
from North Canton, Ohio.
I went to North Canton Middle School.
How old are you?
Um, I'm 40.
Yeah, she's 39. Natalie Spear. So you probably went to school together.
Okay, well,
I'll have to go back and look.
we'll have to go back. I went to I was only there for 5 years. We went to Greentown Elementary.
Okay. We'll
So
have to see you.
we'll have to look back. Yeah.
Yes,
We may
I've
have
been to
gone.
North Canton many times, never been to the Hall of Fame, but I have been to that little mall with that freaky little Italian bistro restaurant in it that I enjoy.
There's
Brio,
and then there's the Hoover factory.
Hoover Factory,
Because
Papa
I would have
Bear's
gone to Hoover
Pizza.
High School.
Yeah, she went to Hoover High School. Papa Bear's
Oh
Pizza
yeah,
is pretty
so
good. North Canton.
dude. Okay, so we would have been
That candy shop, there's like a candy
lockstep.
place where they hand wrap the candy. I forget what it's called.
I haven't been back in so I haven't been back since we moved because then we moved to Florida in 98.
Oh, well, that's lucky. Here, Jess is like, I'm in North Canton right now, born and
Hey,
raised.
there we
That's so
are.
crazy you would cross over with Natalie Spear. It's a
Yeah.
vortex of great talent. She's like
It
a
it re-
touring cellist. Yeah, she's baller.
yeah, I've heard her play. It's on the internet at least, and you get to have it IRL. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I played the
Okay, so you were in
violin while
North
I was up there.
Canton. Yeah, it's like a very musical place. Okay, so you came
Yeah.
into a good part of Ohio, I think you landed well. I was worried if you were going to say like the Ohio Kentucky line, I would have been a little bit more worried for
Mm,
you.
yeah.
Columbus is a dope place in Ohio, but I think North Canton, Cleveland, like that was probably pretty good.
Yeah. So we got there, and again, I always wanted to act, but for during school, I was in sports. I didn't really
Mm,
do a lot of performing arts because I liked sports better, but um, I still like attention.
mhm.
So I was still like like I was voted like funniest in my class because whatever. Um, and then um, and then once I graduated high school, I started acting. I started taking acting classes, but I went to college for like regular stuff.
Mm. Oh,
But
yeah, same.
yeah, and then I was taking acting classes on the side. So from when I was 18, I started taking like Meisner training, and
Mm.
so and I was in Tampa, then Orlando, and then I eventually got my SAG card. I got my SAG card from a movie that I did with Amanda Bynes. Yeah.
Ooh, back
Uh,
in the Amanda
b-
Bynes days.
yeah, back in the Amanda Bynes days, it is the movie Sydney White, and
Okay.
I played Amy, the fat girl.
No. Was that the character name? I mean, it
Yeah,
was the
no,
90s.
yeah,
That's how they
yeah,
named it.
no, yeah, it was no, it was like 2008 still. Her name was Fat
Yeah.
Amy, and I just was the girl who was not a size 2. Isn't that fun?
Lysandra,
Yeah, no,
this
swear to
is
God.
people yearn for the 90s and the early 2000s, and I'm like, you could never.
You have no
You
idea.
could never.
I was a size 8 playing the fat girl.
Correct. Yeah, that's how it was.
Yeah.
Also, we didn't have any support garments back then. There was no compression tops or anything. No.
Mm-mm.
It
Mm-mm.
was like all we had were like camisoles from Victoria's Secret with bras built in, which were awful.
Mhm.
And like anything over a
Absolutely.
size. Remember when they came out with the size 00? This ruined my
Yes.
life.
Yes.
Ruined.
It was like American Girl doll clothes. You're like, oh, okay.
And I'm like tall for a girl. I was like 5'6", 5'7", and I've been that tall for a long time. So then I had some friends that were like, because I grew up in Connecticut, like very Italian-y. So a lot of the girls were very small, very short. And so when that 00 came out, I was like, son of a bitch. It's
Mhm.
bad enough that I'm a
They're
4.
like,
Now
they're like,
I'm
get
like crazy.
smaller.
I know. It was awful. They could, yeah, the yearning for the 90s and the early 2000s, kids today could never. You weren't raised by boomers who got you on Slim Fast when you were 7 and 8. You don't know anything about fat camp. You really don't know.
I'm
I'm
like,
dead serious.
I'm
They
like,
could
we've all
never.
been on diets forever.
Weight
We
Watchers. I still do Weight Watchers. I never learned how to eat. So I like think about things in terms of points, right?
points.
And then it works for
Hmm.
me. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, this is good.
When I think about my 20s, I think about a series of food logs and like where I was logging my food at the time. Because a lot of the times it was Weight Watcher, sometimes it was my Fitness Pal, but I was definitely keeping track of my calories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes. And like I did a lot of conditioning. I remember like sports conditioning being like really incredible, uh, just like very about your like getting taped. Like I was in the military, like I was a cheerleader, and like Chantel used to like tape us to see like
Of
if
course.
your waist was small enough, if your arms were small enough, if you're whatever. I was like, look, bitch, I'm a base. Okay. I have to have more muscle than the Flyers. And she's like, I don't
I
understand that. You're all
What
fat.
sports did you play? You played soccer
No,
in high school?
girl,
You know what, but
no, no. I have asthma. I played cheerleading and I did softball.
I played cheerleading. It's so
I
funny. It's such
played
a funny way to
cheerleading.
say it.
Yes, I
Mm-hmm.
played cheerleading because we didn't have a dance team, and that's the closest thing I could get. And then I did like theater and stuff. I was like very much a theater kid, like a super weird.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like our theater
Did
program
you
because I
play
went to high school
soccer?
in, huh?
Did you play soccer? Did you play sports?
No, I went to high school in Crystal River, Florida. So I did a lot of sports.
Mm.
I was volleyball, basketball, weightlifting, and track.
Weightlifting.
Yeah, weightlifting is just so then I could get another letter because
Yeah.
I'm strong. So it was just
Yeah.
easy. All I had to do was go to the meets and do clean and jerk and bench press.
Yeah.
And I was just like already naturally stronger than most of the girls in my weight.
Yeah.
So I would just get first place.
Well, that's good. I like to set
Yeah.
myself up for success like that.
Yeah.
In
It's like
college, I was
let
on
me
the
walk in and
yeah, crush them.
get in there. Yeah.
In college, I was on the water polo team, but I don't know really how to swim at that time. I did subsequently later learn how to
So
swim,
funny.
but I went to theater school. I went to Wagner College for theater, and they were trying to have sports because some, alumni wanted us to have sports. So we gave all this money to sports and they had to come up with sports. And
Hmm.
so they were like, okay, water polo. And they brought in all these girls from California, and it was like this elite water polo team. But they
Hmm.
had the team they wanted, but because we were like in D1 or something, they had to have more girls on the team. But I was never going to play. So they got like Sarah, this girl, Sarah, who was roommates with our friend Katie, was like, can you just join the team and you'll get like a little warm up outfit and you have to come to like one practice, but you're not actually on the team. It's just that we have enough numbers. And I was like, okay. And so, because I
Okay.
say yes to everything, of course. So
Well,
I
for the plot,
technically was a D1
you
water
had
polo college athlete. Even though I didn't know how to swim. I remember I did the one practice I did in water polo. They're like teaching you how to like tread water. And I was like, oh, okay, I could do this. This is fine. And then they were like, okay, we're going to do some passing. But when they do that, they like dunk you underwater. Like that's the defense.
no.
Don't know how to swim really that strong. So I almost died. And then our coach was like, okay, I think that's enough.
No, I pass on that. I don't want to
Yeah.
get killed.
I'm going to add that to my resume and special skills though. D1
Do
water
you
polo.
wouldn't? I mean, just never explain it.
I had a lot of jobs that I wasn't qualified for. I
That's
think when
true.
you're a yes person, that's what happens to you.
Well, yeah, I think the lore runs deep for people who like say yes to things.
I
Yeah.
taught master piano. I don't play piano at the New Haven Neighborhood School of Music. All my friends were there doing like summer school. I know it was like an elite school for prodigy children. And I was like, they're prodigies. They know what they're doing. But you know what? It worked out for them. So I went into the interview and she never made me like play. Like normally they make you play for it. And I was like, okay, no. And she's like, do you think you can teach like these kids are struggling with like confidence and like social skills and da-da-da. I was like, sure. They never said one thing about piano. And so then I get to the class and they're
Good.
like, okay, what are we learning today and whatnot? I was like, I don't know. You guys are prodigies. What do you want to learn? And they were like, for real. So I had this one girl, Chloe, who was like, queen of the 8-year-old pianists. And I was like, okay, Chloe, you're in charge now. And then I taught them how to like be a person and not be a weirdo child prodigy music person. And it worked out. But about halfway through, Becky, who was the like head of the piano program, was like, you don't play piano. And I was like, no. And she's like, how did you get this job? I was like, they never asked me to play piano. And all my friends work here. And I am helping the kids learn how to sing. They're going to be really ready to perform at their next recital. They're having a good time. They're learning social skills and I'm helping them. And Chloe runs the piano program. And she was like, Chloe's 8. I was like, she's advanced.
You're like, Chloe, that girl's good.
All those
that she don't need my help.
I love this. I don't know what's going on in your class, but they have so much more confidence and they're like actually talking to people at recess. And they even have like a little friend coming over today because these are like prodigy children in New Haven elite school. Like they didn't know how to make friends. So I helped them.
See?
You say yes to things and then you get that job. It's how I got this job. I just was like, well, okay, I guess I'm a TikToker.
Okay.
Do you have weird jobs?
Yeah. I've had so many weird jobs. I think, well, my first job was I worked because I worked at my mom's office.
Mm-hmm.
My mom's a pediatrician and she worked with like a speech pathologist and an occupational therapist. So I did a lot of their filing.
Mm-hmm.
What I did a lot. HIPAA violation probably, but don't worry about it. Those offices are closed.
Again, the 90s to 2000s, you could do anything.
They're a weird time. They're a weird time. I've done like, one of the weirdest jobs that I had, I used to MC picnic games.
What's that?
Exactly. So there was this company when I moved out to LA that like, hired me to basically like people would hire this company to like lead picnic games like sack race or this
like
and that. They would choose corporate-y type thing, but I like you'd be like the MC and like the hype person and run these events so then people could have fun. That was a weird job. That guy was crazy. Yeah, but it was crazy. I used to run a theater in Burbank. I did that. I babysat a lot. I was a personal assistant for like one of the top 10 music producers in the world. For a while.
What did they want you to do?
Per my NDA, I can't tell you a lot, but I can tell you that there used to be a lot more money in music.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's different. But I would like randomly because they're Norwegian.
Ah, okay.
So I would randomly meet somebody that was extremely important in Norway. And I'd just be like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And they'd be like, do you know who that was? And I was like, mm-mm. And they were like, and then they would tell me who it was. And I'd be like, okay, all right. So I just like randomly run into like members of the royal family and stuff like that.
Who are in the Epstein files?
I know.
It always, we were trying to have a nice time. And then the ghost of Jeffrey Epstein is constantly ever present.
Well, that's funny because I was texting my friends because I have a picture with Casey Wasserman.
Oh no.
That's why I think us saying yes to everything, it makes us like Forrest Gump. You know how Forrest Gump ended up being in pictures and like in things with a bunch of people in random places. That's my life.
That's you.
So because I went to when I graduated school, I moved to LA in 2008.
Okay. Great time to move, right at the peak of the financial collapse.
Listen, but I got to vote for Obama in a state where it didn't matter. You know what I mean? And that was beautiful.
It was good for you. It was beautiful.
It's great. So what a time. But then I eventually, I acted for a while, whatever. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to go back to school. I went to Cal Arts.
Okay.
And they'll automatically kind of sign you up for certain scholarships. And I was a Wasserman scholar. Which meant that I know. Oh, Oh, I know. I think it was only like $10,000 a year that I received from, which is like a drop in the bucket of the tuition. So it's not really like that much. But yeah, I have every year we would have to do like a little luncheon where we would have to show them what we were up to in a little PowerPoint presentation. So I have a picture with Casey Wasserman.
Girl, when the Epstein files, so I worked in New York City in hospitality and restaurants from like really like 2001 to 2009-ish.
Mhm.
That's a pretty good clip for Epstein and what was going on. And the very
Mhm.
first thing I did when the Epstein library came out, Google Steve Hansen, Be Our Guest restaurant. Every chef I worked for, they were in there. Steve Hansen was in there.
Crazy.
It's crazy to see your old boss's emails with Jeffrey Epstein in such incredible detail, to the point that like Epstein helped to negotiate the buying, like Steven Star Restaurants bought Be Our Guest restaurants in New York. And like he helped to negotiate that and money manage that. Steve was going on walks with him like every day. Like the emotional connection that Steve Hansen had to Jeffrey Epstein, I had no idea. So I'm like, I've definitely like waited on this man or served him food or something. Like he was very involved with Steve. And Steve didn't go to the island or anything like that, it doesn't seem like. And that's what has been like sort of difficult for me to put context around when we talk about Jeffrey Epstein, is like at the center of him and most forward is his criminal enterprise. The criminal
Right.
enterprise was the sex crimes. It was also the financial crimes. It was also
Mhm.
geopolitical influence and international crimes. So there's many sectors to it. And it's just sort of like this vortex opening to show you really how the last 40 years of American politics has been run on both sides. And I think it's very interesting. But yeah, the Norway royal family being in the Epstein files, the son being on trial for rape right now,
Or no.
Prince, and the father, I think it was, or the uncle, just had a failed
Mhm.
try to unalive himself attempt.
Mhm.
You never think about Norway as a place of deep corruption like that, and you're like, wow, you're really in it. Like we knew about Fergie and Andrew, and the UK, I think, is the monarchy, I think, is like just weird always. Like that's always weird.
No, absolutely. I mean, they're rich white people. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That like have this like weird royal system. Like it's bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're supposed to believe that you're special just because you're
Born
kind
there.
of, yeah, inbred, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I just, you're just
So Casey
people.
Wasserman.
You're just people with that don't have to work.
Yeah.
That's nice for you.
Casey, I know. Casey Wasserman, the Norway religious. Let's go to that next. Royal family.
Dude,
Those are some weird jobs. Those are for real some weird jobs.
yeah, those are very, very strange jobs for sure. But you know, I also like did I did sign holding. You know those people that sign spin.
I
So
wonder about that. Yeah. How do you
they
get
pay
into that?
when I was in Orlando, at least they one of my
Right there.
agent that my agent was a former realtor. And
Okay.
so they would call her and be like, "Hey, can we get some performers out there?" And it paid me and my ex-boyfriend, we did that to save up for our like a deposit for our apartment, because it was like $500 for, that's a lot of money.
Wow.
That's in 2009, that's a
Back
lot.
then. Yeah.
Yeah, so $500 and we each got 500. So we basically like worked a couple of those to get our first and
Wow.
last for a place that we were moving into. So it was, we just like listened to music and like,
Yeah. Flip a sign. Did you
oh,
did
I
you
don't
have
care if you,
tricks?
I don't care if you go to the thing.
Yeah.
No, I just was like this.
Yeah. Just
Yeah, that,
lightly moving.
and listen, yeah,
I
I'll
always
say
wonder
yeah.
about that work. I'm like, is it cash? Do you get a W-2 for that job?
Oh, oh, that was under the table.
I was gonna say that's a cash job, right? We need to bring
Yeah.
back cash jobs. I'm so sick of paying taxes. Just bring back under the table
How
jobs.
many?
Some
I had
jobs
a
you just
theater.
should be able to do.
I did a spot on a show for $100 once, and they asked me for my tax forms, and I was like, it's $100.
No. First of all, no. I love an under the table job. See, when I wanted to leave Florida, I worked at a strip club.
Of
I
course.
was in Tampa.
No, of course. Of
Yeah,
course.
because I said yes. Well, I was living in Tampa. I was working at Busch Gardens at the Wild Wings of Africa. I was the host of the bird show.
And guys, Busch Gardens isn't the strip club,
No,
even though
not
it
yet.
sounds like it could be
It
the strip
should
club.
be. It might be. I mean, there was a lot of what was interesting is like around Busch Gardens, we would have like an escort in and out of the back, like where the staff drives in, because there were such high rates of street sex work that happened there. So surrounding Busch
Ooh,
Gardens is like a lot of various different ladies of the night. And a working girl,
okay.
I love a working girl. I waved to them on the way in. But yeah, Tampa's got a lot going on as far as sex work goes. Strip club capital of the world. So I was at Busch Gardens and I was doing the Wild Wings of Africa show, and I wanted to quit and I wanted to drive home, but I didn't like have enough money to do that. And I didn't want to ask my parents, right? Because I don't want to be like, oh yeah, I was doing the bird show and I made you think I was doing really okay and I like wasn't. So my friend Christina, who also, no, she worked at Moroccan Roll, that show. She was like, well, I bartend back bar at the strip club, Oz, and you can like just work there a couple shifts if you want, probably make enough money to go home. I was like, I am not stripping. And she's like, no, you don't. You basically you make buckets of ice for the girls and drinks and stuff. You don't even go to the front. There's like front bar and the stages, but then there's like service bar. And I was like, okay. So I worked there for like 4 days and then I made enough money and I drove home.
And they tipped you out.
Because the girls tip you out. Yeah. So, but all I did was make like, you're basically like putting beers on the bar for them to take out. You really don't do any cocktails,
Just
maybe
like,
a Jack and Coke and ice. And then they're like, here's a bunch of dollar bills that were in my underwear recently. And I'd be like, thank you so much for that. And you know what I loved about the strip club? It's such a community. It's such a community of wonderful, lovely people. Like the girls really take care of each other. When you're in like a high level strip club like that, they really do.
Mm-hmm.
And then they had like a mom, like a backstage mom that like brought them snacks and would like make sure that they were safe and everything. And I was like, this is amazing to see like how the inner workings
the
of a
girly
strip club.
pop.
Yeah. They were great.
Especially when that's a positive experience to have in one of those. I lived with a stripper once. She worked with me at Fredericks of Hollywood because that's what was one of my jobs at the mall.
Yeah.
At the mall,
that was fun.
They paid. Yeah, well, they paid better, and also, fun fact, I used to be the only person that could sell the funny man thongs.
Oh, I bet.
You couldn't keep them on the shelf with me around. I don't know why, but I would find the person to buy those.
Yeah.
But
like,
no,
you know what your husband needs? This elephant banana hammock.
Yeah, you know what's going to make you and your husband spice up your life?
He will definitely love you in this.
Yeah. This man thong that looks like a banana.
I know. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. That was very silly
that was
job.
Your experience? But living with the stripper, fun?
Yeah, she, she would go, because we were in Orlando, and she would go to Daytona. There's a bunch of clubs in Daytona. She would go there for a night, or like she didn't work there very often, but I know that she just went there like a couple times a month. And I don't know, it just, I've never had one of my friends that has been involved in as like in sex work have a bad experience, thank God.
Yeah.
But they've been in pretty solid environments where they can come in and out as they have. So I have, fortunately, I mean, or at least I don't know any potential bad experiences, but it's work.
I knew
it's just a job.
And I thought it was great. And then they started, some of the girls,
and they made good money.
Some of the clubs. Oh, they do. They sure did. Yeah, especially like we're lucky we knew girls who were in like sort of the high end clubs. Couple of the girls started a burlesque troupe that's called Femmes and Follies. It still operates in Tampa. It's run by Katie St. James, who's a dear friend of mine, longtime friend of mine.
Cool.
Katie St. James is a burlesque dancer, owns that business by night and rescues dogs during the day. Like she's like a full-time dog rescue person, which is so
I
cute.
love that.
She's stripper with a heart of gold. We love Katie St. James.
No, love.
She does ballet. So she was a trained ballerina. It was very gypsy. It was very like Gypsy
Oh,
the
I
musical
love
for me.
that.
So she was a trained ballerina. And so she did burlesque ballet. And then when I met my wife, who does classical cello, I was like, you should do a gig with Katie. You should do a night of burlesque with Katie. And she was like, Natalie comes from like, you know, she like so nice, like orchestra, beautiful, like very classical. And she's like, fuck yeah, can I do electric cello with Katie? And I was like, yes. So she in Tampa did like this one night only gig with Katie, and Katie did like, you know, like electric. It was, I forget what song they did, but it was like heavy metal, ballet, electric cello. It was the hottest thing I've ever seen in my whole life. And then I
Oh
married
my
her
God,
right
that's
after that. I
so
was
cool.
like,
You're like,
you're the
oh,
one. You're the
you're
one.
like, gotta put a ring on that.
Yeah. Well, it was the first time. So I've never been like a jealous person. Like I never worry about her at all. But in this particular case, I'm in the audience with our friends, and I am watching this whole audience just like absolutely lose their mind over Katie and Natalie. And it was like, you have to stay upstairs. You can't come down to the floor. You can't come down to the floor. You're going to get eaten alive. And she was like, okay. So
how long were you guys together at that point?
how long? 4 months.
4 months.
Yeah, we got
All right,
married
and
the
then
next week. I'm not fucking around. I love this girl, like so crazy. We've been married like 7 years now, and I'm not like a U-Haul lesbian where like I've ever been like that. Like I'm not that way. No, immediately. She's perfect and
you're like,
ideal.
I'm not a U-Haul lesbian, but I did be doing that.
I did it
with
that
her.
one time. Well,
yeah.
Look, you meet my wife, you got to lock that down. You can't mess around. You can't be silly about that. Like I was like,
true.
look, I have got to lock this in right now. And she was like, okay. I was moving to New York City, and she was like, okay, that sounds good.
And that's the beauty of like, I think like with relationships, you have to have two people that are in that space and available for that. And it's like with career opportunities and things like that. You have to have the right timing play such a big factor in it. Because had you not been ready to lock that down, you would have missed out on an icon, and vice versa. But that's a really awesome that it worked out.
You have to cheer for each other too, right? Like she's a performer.
For sure.
I was working in chef and culinary world, but I was traveling constantly with James Beard for it. So we were both out all the time. And it was like, I had to make time to cheer for her. She had to make time to cheer for me. You both have to kind of like be okay with that. Is it hard to date doing what you do now?
Me? I don't. I just don't.
You straight up don't. You're like, I don't have time for this shit.
No, I don't date. What a lot of people probably don't know is that like I do like my video stuff during the day, and then at night I'm doing stand-up comedy. So like
Right.
I don't not, but also my work is fun. So when people are like, oh, what do you ever do for fun? I'm like, well, my work is fun.
Yeah.
So like I go hang out, I go to shows, like I go do a show. Like tonight, I'm in Philadelphia to do a show at the Philly Punchline, Star Spangled Banter, which is, if you're in Philly, please come check it out. I think there's a few tickets left.
Show?
Yeah, Heather. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I love. That's a great show. If you're in Philly, go tonight to the show.
Heather, Alex Perlman is rumored to be coming.
Okay.
We're in town. Also, Tell Williams.
Mr. Williams.
Mr. Williams might be making an appearance. My little baby.
Wow, that's kind of like a burlesque show.
I know. And then if you're a comedy fan, Jenny Zagrino and Jay Jordan, who are incredible comics. Jay Jordan is headlining. He's doing, and he's my favorite. So I'm so excited. I've never met him in real life. Yeah, so I'm so excited. But so I do like. So people ask me what I do for fun, and I'm like, well, I'm kind of the fun.
Yeah.
But within that work, also, I have so many incredible people, and we have fun backstage. We chat, we listen to each other's sets, and it's I don't know. I think it's fun.
Sometimes
but with that saying, I'm not dating a comic.
No.
Not again.
Not again.
Not after what happened.
Is that hard? It must be. Is there like a lot of jealousy or a lot of like? Is it?
No, I think with the. Well, he's a man, so he's not funny by default. Right. But
I And I'm sorry that you're dating men. I just,
Oh,
this is
listen,
a
if it was a
plague.
choice, this is how you know it's
I
not a
know.
choice.
That's what I'm saying. It's a plague upon this world, and
Yeah,
I hope it,
yeah.
you know.
This is how you know,
I
okay?
know.
Because I'm
I know.
cursed.
It's what everybody says.
I would choose
Yeah.
otherwise. And no, I think that particularly didn't work with that person because there's a lot
Yeah.
of fragile egos.
Mm.
And that, but that's not always the case. There are people that make it work, but oh, that just was never going to work. But anyway, it was a dark time. We've moved
Mm.
on.
So we're not
And
getting any more comments. There'll be no more
no, no,
comments.
no, no. I also don't like online dating, so I don't
Mm.
like the apps. I don't like I've never really also prioritized
Yeah.
relationships like that. So I do think that like it's my goal, meet somebody out in the open and build like a natural like connection and then see where that goes because I'm so specific. I'm busy, I'm specific, and like I'm 40. I don't have time
Yeah.
to, and also like don't have time to play whatever kind of
Yeah. Game.
game people play. No, I'm not interested.
Would you do a reality show like 90 Day Fiance or Love is Blind? I mean, for the bit.
Yeah, because you and I just say yes to things for the plot.
Yeah.
Um,
They come to
I would
Atlanta.
hope
They're doing Love is Blind Atlanta. Your agent
I
is
would
like, look, this is great for discoverability.
I would host it. I wouldn't do it.
No.
I don't desire to be that vulnerable on camera.
Ooh, I feel that. It never
Also,
works out.
you can never, oh, well, I've watched enough of those shows to know you can't trust the edit
Mm,
or the real intentions of the people coming on the show because inherently if you're coming onto a TV show, you kind of want to be famous, right?
right.
And like there is that and then the potential outcome of having like money and all this stuff. And for me, as somebody who has been working in the arts my whole life, and now I found a medium in which I can generate some income with my art. That's
Mm,
great. But sometimes these people just be signing up for the show and then they have like opportunities thrown at their feet. And as somebody who's worked hard to build a network and build the skill set and then like grow this to where it is now, it's like I don't have a lot of respect for people that are just handed opportunities like
yeah.
that. I find that
There's
hard.
been a big headline this week, which I think is just so absurd, honestly, is mainstream media criticizing Jake Shane for how he did
Oh
the
yeah.
Vanity Fair Oscars red carpet.
I thought he was
And
cute.
I thought he was cute. I thought he was himself. That's how he is. That's what they wanted for
That's
this.
that's what they hired.
That's what they hired. Exactly.
Yeah.
They and also it's not like he was taking a place away from like somebody else. Everybody's on the red carpet. It wasn't like, oh, we didn't have CNN, we had Jake Shane. It's like, no, we had CNN and we had Jake Shane, and he was at the Vanity Fair Oscars red carpet party. It wasn't even like the main show. Like, leave the boy alone. One. Two, I think it was just the mainstream media is oftentimes so searching for a reason to say influencers generally should not exist. They should be annihilated and eradicated from this world. And I'm like, look, man, you had Heartthrob Robert was out there also, who I love, who does gay
Right.
science. He was
Mm-hmm.
fantastic, well dressed. There are so many influencers who do red carpet incredible. Drew does red carpet
Oh,
incredible,
for sure. Yeah.
you know, and they don't want to talk about any of that. They want to be like, Jake Shane sucked. And I'm like, did he? Like, maybe
You just don't
that's the
maybe you just
natural
don't like
reaction to,
him.
maybe you don't like him and maybe he just doesn't like Kris Jenner. They're like, the look on his face when he met Kris Jenner. I'm like, I don't know what the look on my face would be like if I met just Kris Jenner. It's got to be a lot of like a loaded person to be standing in front of. Like,
I would. I've been she's been my go-to Halloween costume for years. So if I met Chris, I don't know how it would react.
would you
It'd be
like
like a
accidentally
mirror,
impersonate her?
of course. Right
It's
back
like
to
when you
her.
talk to somebody with an accent and then you start doing the accent and you're like, why am
Yeah.
I doing this?
Kim. Just like, oh my God. I just start managing everybody.
Yeah. And that friend was on the red carpet too. And his thing was just asking celebrities as they came down the red carpet what impression they wanted him to do for them. So that, and nobody gave him shit. I mean,
Right.
and I
I
was like,
mean,
he didn't even ask any questions.
well, that's why I think they're just picking on, like, they're picking on the person that they don't like at the moment.
Yeah.
I saw a video. I've seen a couple of videos of people being like, especially actors that are like again, the blanket statement that people who have followers online, and granted, yes, there are people who are awful,
Yes.
of course, and there's a
She's
lot of
just not
people
one
that
of
are
them. Yeah.
influencers that give a lot of people a bad name. But
Yep.
this particular girl was frustrated with like casting, the way that casting relies on having also, they take into account following
Yeah.
online.
Mhm.
And I was like, I was gonna comment on it, but I was like, also the opposite for casting, the opposite effect also applies. My following is not the right following
Mhm. Mm.
for them. So Hollywood will always find a way to tell you no,
Right.
just depending on the whim. So I think that it can for anybody that like wants to have a career in the arts, I think this is always my advice because I've been doing, again, I'm 40, I've been taking classes and working towards this since I was 18 in one way, shape, or form. It's a marathon. You can't expect to see the same success that people get. Sometimes people get lucky and get opportunities handed early in life, but like the opportunities that I'm able to run with now, I would not have been able to handle with such skill and grace and groundedness that I can now at my age with my skill set, with my relationships, with my knowing of myself, with all the therapy
Mhm.
and all the life that I've
Mhm.
lived. I can handle all of this and still be a functioning human. If I had been, if maybe 10 years ago, I would probably be curled up in a corner with overwhelmed with all this information and
I
stuff like
totally
that.
agree. I say all the time, I'm glad I got internet famous when I was older because I had lived experience. I knew where I
Right.
wanted to go, and my potential gap was smaller. I know what my skills are. When you're
Hmm.
22, 23, everything is possible. So none of it happens sometimes, or it all happens
Right.
quickly, or you say yes to things because you haven't learned on a smaller scale, like that doesn't really work for you. Whereas now I'm like, look, I know exactly where I want to be. I know how much I want to travel. I know what kind of gigs I want to take. I know what kind of money I need to make. And I can understand the balance between good, bad, and expensive money, which we teach in the class that I do. Which is free for creators, like just about when you're getting these deals, sometimes somebody will come with you. If they come to you and they're like, hey, there's $30,000 to do this event. If you're 23, you're like, yeah. And then when you're older, you're like, okay, what did that contract look like? How much more was built in
Right.
there that they didn't say to me that I was expected to like take no other deals or have category exclusivity,
Right.
or that I was going to be at an event that was sponsored by, like, let's say APAC, for example, or something.
Palantir.
Palantir, something like that. And you have to, it's difficult to say no to good money or good opportunities because overall, all you have is yourself and your values and like what you stand for. So there have been times that I have like full cried over not taking a deal because the cookie that they were offering was so good. Like one time, I'm not going to say which organization, but you're going to know right away why I may have already said the name of it, but I got
Mhm.
offered to do, they were trying to put together this thing to help better explain October 7th. And I was offered, they were like, maybe we could do something like a dinner between V and Idina Menzel, who's like my most favorite actress that's ever lived. And we could like do this sort of dinner series and like you could sort of like help us talk about it. And I said,
I'm
no.
sorry, were you talking about Adele Dazeem?
Yes.
Yes, okay,
And I
because the
said,
one and only.
no. And I cried so hard because it's a hard no, but
Yeah,
the no is the right answer. But I was like, oh my God, these people
I
come to
know.
you, they know the thing that's going to like really, really be meaningful to you. And you have to say no. And it's so hard.
It's
And I'm
so
glad I
hard.
did because that dinner ended up becoming Van Jones and somebody else. And he ended up getting like ripped to shreds over it. So
Okay, see? Everything works out, I
it was,
think. Uh, so
it's
you
tough
know
when you're
Eliza,
young. You can't
Eliza,
know that when you're young.
you know Eliza Orleans?
Yes,
Okay, Eliza Orleans and I were at the Super Bowl together.
I saw.
So, and this is why, for everybody that's watching, this is why it help relationships, I think, are just the most important part of everything, right? And I think in this creator space that we're on, it's like the Wild West. of we're all figuring things out on our own. And so I think the more we connect with each other and the more that we can share resources, the better we are for it. And so when I knew that I was going to go with an organization to cover the Latino culture
Mm.
around the Super Bowl, that's why I was sent over there, because I'm Puerto Rican. Obviously, Benito, Bad Bunny's Puerto Rican. And I was like, yeah, let me go. And we didn't have tickets to the game.
Oh,
And technically Eliza was already going to be over there. So she reached
yeah.
out to that organization and was like, hey, I'm going to be there. Can you pay me to X amount to cover? And she got them to pay for, so I'm like,
Yeah, that's great.
this is on helping each other out. This is on
Yes.
us being like, and so Eliza and I are very similar. Where we'll be like, no, it's going to happen. How is not my business,
I'm
but I know it's going to
manifesting.
happen. Yeah. So we were like, that's what we're like, oh, we're going to go to the game. How? Not my business. That's not my. I don't care. So, but we bought like little Benito Bowl accessories the night before. They're like, we're gonna wear this at the game.
Yeah.
And then we ended up getting tickets to the game while we were on our way to the game. We got some seats from. It turned out a friend of hers had a company that bought a bunch of tickets, and they had some people that didn't fly in from Brazil, so they had extra tickets. We had to buy them, of course, but
Well, yeah, but you could get them.
they were very discounted from
Yeah.
what they would have been, because they just wanted
Yeah,
to
they were
make
going to throw
something
it away.
back. And I was like, well, I'm not willing to pay that. Like, I'm not willing to pay that much because I can watch the Super Bowl, the halftime show from a restaurant.
Right. Y'all had a
Frankly,
blast though, huh?
we had a blast,
What
but
was it like to be in the space with the Bad Bunny performance as a Puerto Rican woman? Like that had to be
oh my
crazy.
God. Well, a couple things. Surrounded by white people at the Super Bowl.
Not the ideal.
Crazy. Crazy. It was like I was like, and like rich white people because they can
Yeah.
afford to go to the Super Bowl, but not too rich because we were at the top. Okay.
Right.
We were in the 400 section. So we were very high, but I was the only one definitely like singing
Yes.
the lyrics, but Eliza, like the girly pops were dancing, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of people were just kind of like trying to like figure out what was happening. But I just think I started crying when right after Lady Gaga
Mm.
came on, because like they were that part of the show, they're doing the dance because they're doing the wedding, right? So
Yeah.
she does like the world, and they go into this other song called Baile Inolvidable. And that song is like about an unforgettable dance. I don't know if I'm cutting out.
No, you're good now.
Okay,
It
good.
was like
Okay.
2 seconds, but we could hear you. We couldn't see
Buffered.
you, but you're here. You're good.
Unstable internet connection. Okay, now here we go. But the song that played next was Baile Inolvidable, which is like just the most beautiful symbolic song about like the someone that was an unforgettable experience that you had with somebody or something in your life, whether and I don't know. And then Ricky Martin coming on.
I've lost
God,
it. I lost it. The 90s are back. The joy is back.
I know, and just the symbolism of him, of Ricky being there, and now he can sing in Spanish on the main stage. And for me, as I've looked to Benito as with so much pride and so much like um, inspiration, because of the way that he shows up in the world wasn't afforded to a lot of us that came before him as artists. Because like, for example, like I've been told by agents and stuff like that to change my name because my name's too hard to say. Yeah, my
Really?
like,
It's
yeah,
such a
they said
pretty
that.
name.
Sure, but Vasquez, they were, but, it's racism, right? It's like they
Yeah.
just want you to be as white as possible, and
Right.
they want you to liken yourself to whiteness to be commercially more digestible. So they say. And that's what Ricky Martin had to do. And then for him
Mm.
to be able to be full circle back and to sing the song that he sang, for those of you who might not know what it's about, Lo que pasó en Hawaii is talking about that it's like a love letter to Puerto Rico, saying, I don't want them to do to you what they did to Hawaii. They want to take the
Mm.
river, they want to take the beach, they want to take our song, but we're not going to let that happen to you. So it's such a beautiful song, and to have Ricky Martin singing it, you're not going to take our culture. Ugh, it's
Really
it
good.
was it was great. And then I was like explaining to everyone, they're doing this. That song's about the power grid. So it was like people
Yes.
didn't think it was like political, but like the song when he was like climbing the power
Oh, I
lines,
know.
El Apagón. Yeah, it was just great.
I
I
thought
I love him.
there's no one more thoughtful than him in the way he did it, including that
Hmm.
power grid. I was literally screaming again at my beautiful wife, Natalie. I'm like, they're talking about the power grid failure and the
Hmm.
corruption and how it's like constant blackouts and it's US. And I'm trying to explain to her what it is. And she's like, can you let me enjoy this for 1 second and then tell me
No.
about, I'm like, no, pause it. And then when he went through like the Piragua stand and he went
Hmm.
through the nail salons and things, I was like, do you know why they open nail salons? You know, like what the opportunity was historically and why only nail salons and all these different things. It was, I mean, what a dream. What a dreamboat he
I
is. I'm
know.
glad he escaped the Kardashians. He's not with the Kardashian girl anymore, right? No,
No, thank
that
God.
was tricky.
Um, no, we think he's back with Gabriela, which is like long
Hmm.
time love. Um, but my cousin, I don't know if I've told you that, my cousin Eric, my first cousin, so our moms are sisters. He's like his main photographer. So he's the one that took like the cover, like
Aw.
the one with the chairs. Yeah, and
Wow.
then he's on
Yes.
tour with him. Yeah, so all of the pictures you see of Benito were probably taken by my cousin Eric.
Dude,
I know, isn't that
call him
cute?
up. Can't you just call Bad Bunny up and be like, do you need an
Listen,
opening act?
listen. I text him and I said, "Hey, I'm at the Super Bowl. Just letting you know." And then I was like, but I was like, and also this is the busiest professional weekend of your life,
I
so I
know.
get it. No,
Okay,
but I
but
was
if
just
you
like,
need more people on the stage or grass, I'm happy to be the grass.
or an after party, like
Yeah.
drop a pin,
Come
I'll
on,
show
Eric.
up.
Come on, Eric.
Yeah, damn, that's crazy. Anyway, but I will use that card eventually when it's more dire. I'll be like,
Yeah.
but I haven't used it yet. Well, eventually, it's not my business to figure out how I'm going to meet Bad Bunny, but I
No,
will.
it's just gonna happen. Oh,
It's
obviously.
just going to happen. Yeah.
How do you think Bad Bunny is like I think about in terms of like Puerto Rican music and culture being centered in like American media in so many ways. And like the thing I go back to is
Hmm.
like the West Side Story of it all, right? Like that's the last time that there was like this focus on the idea of like Puerto Rican culture being in like
Hmm.
centered in a musical. And of course they're centered as the bad guys. But now we have like 11-year-old white girl singing Bad Bunny songs and whatnot the way that they used to
Hmm.
sing I Feel Pretty or like songs from West Side
Yeah.
Story. Do you feel like that is helping? Do you feel like we're getting beyond just like the looky-loo of it and people are really kind of like starting to take this in as part of American culture or seeing it as like something different? Do you want it to be seen as American culture or is there some like push to remain independent also? Like what it feels like a
I
tug of war
think
sometimes.
that's a good question. I think that I have never particularly liked West Side Story because it's a caricature
Right.
and so reductive of like who we are, and I don't think it's just. I just if people are and people always like, oh, you're Puerto Rican, West Side Story, and I'm like, mm,
That's all they gave us though, Like that's all
I
they
know that
gave
is no, that is
white
all
people
they
to
gave.
point
That's all they
to.
gave
Yeah, right.
Americans.
And
So
it hurt.
uh, I think the way that our culture is being represented so wholly, like it's holistically like really good. It's well rounded. It's showing you like not only like the good but also the challenging,
Mhm.
and I think that what's really beautiful, like he just did like a show in Japan, like the first show in Asia. He was over in Australia. He's been going everywhere, and everywhere around the world people are singing not only songs in Spanish but in our dialect. we speak
Right.
we speak a certain kind of like slang. We cut off our words in different ways, but like the way that people are like enjoying like not only the sounds but like the way that we speak Spanish, which has a lot of the times people will look down on it because they think like, you're like speaking Puerto Rican Spanish, you're like
Mhm.
but um it's I have such a sense of pride from it because it's being represented in such uh a s- it's being told from the heart
Mhm.
and being told by one of us instead of being told by like some
Leonard
outsider.
Bernstein.
Yeah. Somebody just like making us a caricature, which we're
Right.
not.
Mm-hmm.
So, I love it. I mean, I don't need everybody to go to Puerto Rico. Like, please don't. Like, if you do, be respectful.
Mm-hmm.
Tip a lot. But it's a beautiful island, and we have an amazing culture. And even if you're in New York or any place that has Puerto Rican restaurants, our food is great.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the things that we love to do is we love to welcome people into our culture. So
Mm-hmm.
you're always welcome as long as you're not an asshole.
Yeah. My mom watched the Super Bowl. My little white mom from Connecticut, who now lives in Florida, adorbs. She freaking loved that Ricky Martin, though. I mean, talk about somebody who wooed the boomer women. We were like, she was like Ricky Martin.
Well,
Yeah,
there's a lot of people in your mom's age range that and my mom's and my aunts that still believe that they have a chance with Ricky Martin, and I
they
love that for
do.
them.
You know
No,
what?
I
Keep your
and
dream. Keep your
and you
dream.
know what? I'm sure he would love to like snuggle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
By my
a
mom's
little snuggle,
pool,
but
by the
yeah.
grotto. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure. And they would love to just look at him being beautiful and perfect.
But
How does he look better now? I don't know. It's
she
not my
loved that
business.
little Bad Bunny. She loved the performance. Because it
Yeah.
was exciting. It was entertaining. It was entertaining on a
Yeah.
level with a theater and artistry that you don't see ever really, especially
Hmm.
at a Super Bowl. It's usually like, it's like, okay, here's a stage show. There was so much artistry in it and such like spectacle, and it was so wonderful. She's like, I wish I knew what he was saying, which then I was able to send him your video, which was like, these are the words that he's saying. And she was like, oh, good. Now I know. Oh, I have so many girlfriends. So now she's like, oh, there's so many girlfriends song.
Oh, the Titi me preguntó. That's so funny. Um, he Yeah, the way I saw a behind the scenes video of how they like choreographed the camera work, the cinematography for the
Mhm.
piece, and that he was like, I have 5 rehearsals in me tops.
Yeah.
I'm not a rehearsal guy. So then they did that. But then when they were like cutting the music down, he was keeping it in secret what he was gonna say
Right.
between the songs. And he put like a shirt over his mouth when he was rehearsing so nobody would know what he was going to say.
Oh,
Uh, but they were so then it was like an actual surprise for everybody that he said like all of the countries
yep.
in the Americas, which is so beautiful.
He was cool.
Like,
I like seeing Cardi B out there too. You can't stop
well,
me. I'm
duh.
obsessed.
I love
Obsessed.
her.
Have you ever seen her live?
Unfortunately, no, not yet, but I
Oh,
will. I can't wait to the
it's a
day.
must do. It's a must do. I saw Cardi live a couple years ago in Arizona at the TikTok did like a music festival thing, and so I got to see Cardi B, and she was very
Ah,
interested at that time in learning more about civics. And we were having a conversation about like, could I teach Cardi B civics basically quick because she wants to be so politically involved and whatnot.
what a dream.
We didn't get to do it, but I'm hoping someday for it. I'm hoping someday for it.
Oh, I'm
Um,
sat.
she's just so intelligent and thoughtful and a former stripper, which I think makes you an interesting, cool person. We've come full circle in our
Oh,
conversation here.
and she's so funny.
She's so funny. And I like the way she
She's
talks about
so funny.
parenting. I'm like, this is good parenting advice, the way
Yes.
she talks about stuff. But her live
Yeah.
show, what I like about her and what I loved about Bad Bunny and what I've liked about other performers also, and what I notice when it's missing is
Mm.
she took a moment. She did like a bunch of songs, right? The crowd is at a 10, at a 20. They're all the way up. And she took like 2 seconds and she just like closed her eyes and was like, okay, like I'm doing it. I'm doing it, and was grateful, and then like cried a little bit about how grateful she was everyone was there, and then went into like WAP, right? So it was like, but I love
Like,
people who take the moment to look around and recognize like this is for the audience. I made it, but this is something I'm giving, and it's good.
also
You're
for me.
receiving the gift well, and I'm so happy that everybody's having a nice time. And I just loved her
Yeah.
for that after. She's just so
I think
great.
it's so beautiful. I went to the summer I did Cowboy Carter in Atlanta,
Mm.
and that's very similar to the energy that like because the room was so filled with positivity and
Yeah.
everyone, first of all, everyone looked good.
Yes, I love
at
the
that
dressing
tour.
up for stuff now. Yes.
Everyone looked so good and everybody was so sweet. Though it was just like, and like Beyonce, I'm a Virgo like Beyonce, and like I just knew everything was well thought out. And so
Yeah.
like I really thoroughly enjoyed that show.
It's a good one.
Missouri.
Now, there's been a couple shows that I've been to where I'm like, I don't think this person is here for the right reasons. Do you ever go to a concert and I'm like, I'm good, I saw enough of it, and I'm like bummed out about it?
I think a lot of
A lot of
that's another
country shows are like that for me, honestly, because I
I
remember the
don't
90s and early 2000s again, when country shows were like literally for everyone and really, really fun. Like a Kenny
yeah.
Chesney concert was actually quite fun, and the tailgates
Okay.
were great for it, or Dolly or Garth Brooks or whoever. And now I'm like, this sucks. Your jeans are too
I
tight, your voice is off key, and the vibes are
And like,
not
and also
immaculate.
the people around you probably kind of suck. I think
No,
that
people around me
um
suck. I'm sick of it. So we don't
where
go.
I have a challenge with music festivals now.
Yeah.
They used to be really fun. Like Coachella before it was like what the scene that it is
Yeah.
now used to be really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Because you could also buy
Warped
day
Tour.
passes when I first started going to Coachella.
Yeah.
Like, and that's all I could afford. So
Well, and
I went
music should be accessible. It should be
right.
20, $30 or something.
Right. I think I was like $100. I got it for like my boyfriend at the time. Like we went, and I think we just went for one of the days. Like one, I think it was the Red Hot Chili Peppers or someone that he wanted to that he liked that was
Red
headlining
flag.
one night. Yeah, I
Red
know.
flag.
Listen, hey, I didn't. I
Hey.
said X. I said X. Okay.
Now we know. Now we know.
Hey, now we know. And then no, it's and then also I've been to Bonnaroo. Bonnaroo was terrible.
Bonnaroo's terrible. Always has been.
Bonnaroo, Bonnaroo.
Not for
I
me.
don't know. Hey, you know what? I also I'm not a camper, so you know what?
No, I'm not an outside
That's not my
girly.
life. That's
Same
not
with
my
Burning
life.
Man. I don't do drugs. And
Right.
I
So
don't
it's
want to be
like
in the
I don't want to
sand.
be in the dust.
No dust.
I
No
wear
dust.
contact lenses. No,
No.
I can't do that.
I have
No.
asthma.
I'm sensitive.
No, that's some I've experienced struggle in my life. I don't need to choose it for that price point out in the desert. You know what I mean? Like I've had actual
Uh, Thousands of dollars to be
Fyre
in.
Festival.
Oh,
Uh okay, so I was working at this produce house called Hungry Harvest in Baltimore, and the boys that I work with were younger when Fyre Festival came out, and they were all going, all the produce buyers and the owner, right? And so me and like honestly, the other girls who work there were like, we are not
they
going to
bought
Fyre
they
Festival.
they
They
bought
bought
tickets.
tickets, they went to the thing. Now these
How
are
much
boys
were
from
they?
Baltimore.
How much were the
I don't
tickets?
think they were crazy. I don't think they were crazy, but they went and they were like sort of Baltimore tech bro produce buyers. And they were like my little brothers. I love them so much. They're the sweetest boys, sweetest boys. And then they call, and Eric, who is one of them, is a Quaker. So he had like some survival skills in him. And he was like really good at like getting them out of what they were in. But without Eric, they would have died there. So they call and they're like, we are not going to make it back because this is really bad. And then Eric decides, Eric is the only smart one. You have to have a deep Quaker in your friend group. Okay. They call them friends for a reason. Eric is like, what we need to do immediately is go to the medical tent and volunteer to be medics, like volunteer to help. So Eric goes to the
Amazing.
medical tent. The boys go with him. They give them like Fyre Festival, like staff outfits. So then they're like sending me pictures. But Eric was like, I know if we're on the volunteer side, we'll have access to water and food. And there's nothing else we could do. So we might as well help. And so they did. And they're produce buyers and they were like big burly dudes. So they really helped like re-execute how to get like people services and whatnot. And they did a good job. But I was
Okay.
like, of course, y'all went to Fyre Festival. And I was like, you are never allowed to go anywhere again. And they were like, no, Eric helped us because we had access to food, water, and jet skis. And I was like, okay. That's the way
You
I'm not
know
a
what?
festival person. I liked Radio 104 Fest. I liked Vans Warp Tour, like back in the day when you could see like 20 bands for $20. That was dope.
Yeah. I also used to work for StubHub. That's another side
Weird
quest.
jobs. Yeah.
In LA, I worked for the last minute services department, which was before everything was integrated to mobile, right?
Oh, okay.
So for the last minute tickets, if you wanted them to stay on, you had to bring them physically to the downtown LA office.
Oh gosh.
And so then we would facilitate those last minute sales. And then people would have to pick them up from our office, like if they were going to the Staples Center, which is now the crypto arena, but or any of those things. And I used to work out at Dodgers too to like help those other. So I got to go to a lot of concerts and stuff like that for free and games. Like I saw like the Stanley Cup. Like the Kings won the Stanley Cup once, and I was there for free.
Heated rivalry before it was cool.
Hot,
You were there.
right? I was like, no big deal. So because of that, like I became like very, I became kind of a ticket snob to where like I also then don't want to pay for tickets.
Yeah, I feel that.
I will.
Why can't I use my influencer for good? I never get free shit.
I never get free stuff.
I'm redoing my own kitchen on my own dime. I'm like, can KitchenAid or somebody please donate me an oven? I'll make you news content over the oven. I never get tickets to shit. We picked the wrong genre. We went political news. We should have
never. I know. No, watch me.
On a brand trip. I've never been like anywhere.
We need to make our own brand trip, where we just bum everybody out by telling them news.
Well, in our last couple of minutes here, people have been dying for you to do an impression. Is there anyone you can pull out?
I do. I can do. Is Melania? Melania is easy to do because she. What you have to do, Melania is a squint.
Yeah.
Melania gets to squint, and you just reach for a word to be wrong.
How many years have you been in this country, Melania, to still not know how to speak English?
Genius visa tutti. Caroline, for me, I don't think Caroline for me isn't that I do. I think my Caroline exists separate from the actual Caroline.
Yeah.
But I do think that my Caroline is more Caroline than Caroline. So, so she's a lot. It's like she's a
no lip,
a lip tuck, and I can just like, I just need to like when I channel her, just get into that. For the Washington Post, and I get that. I can't do it without the lip tuck. And then
is it a physical thing? The impressions, the physicality helps with the voice. And
yeah. Because as soon as I get it in there, and like putting on all the stuff helps, but it's really just that's to indicate the audience. It's more the energy, the channeling of them, right? Because like with
Christine,
when I do Christine, well, because I just have to get like their voice, right? Yeah. So like the voice is like, as soon as I can watch something and be like, okay, I got it. I just like lock into it and then I just channel it. And Christy, she also doesn't move her face a lot, so it's in her voice. I have to use a strong microphone because her voice she doesn't like is a real down here and it's too certain.
She like talks from her back teeth.
Yeah. It sits here.
Yeah.
And she doesn't move her face a lot. Yeah. I also unfortunately recently discovered that I look exactly like Mitch McConnell.
Oh,
do you know this about me?
There's not a lot of time left. Oh, there it is. There it is. Yep, there it is.
Yeah, so I look exactly like Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, you'll have to get that one in.
which is great because I'm gonna once I get home, I am going to have to record a few I'm gonna record some clips of me as Mitch, so then I have it ready for when he clocks out.
Yes.
Then I can immediately post it in the arms of an angel.
You gotta have that. You did the Doge Boys too. I mean, you do them quick. How do you like get into people's skin like that? Do you practice in like a mirror, or you like feel the vibe of it?
I just if like for the I'm trying to get a Lindsey Graham. His neck is more like this though.
Yeah,
it's hard. There's a physical aspect that all of them have that you can kind of like a Pam Bondi. I just have to listen to her. I have to listen to her talk, and then she's like, law. You just have to like. I will lose it if I'm not watching them, but if I watch them for a couple, I watch a couple clips of them, I can get their cadence, and then I'm like, okay, then I'm dialed back in for the thing. But yeah,
Are you gonna do Mark Wayne? He just moved ahead. Breaking news. He just moved ahead in the Senate. Fetterman voted for him, so he's advancing.
Oh, so Fetterman voted for him? Surprise, surprise.
I know.
Well, that's crazy. Truckers. But close friend and mutual Mark Wayne Mullen.
Yes.
I do have to get myself a beard. I do a Zoran Mamdani. Zoran is easy because he's just like
Zoran was good. Yeah, your Zoran was good.
and I do Miss Rachel. I think I can do a really good Miss Rachel because I kind of look like her anyway.
Yeah.
But people got upset because they thought I was making fun of her.
Oh, never.
But I would never. And also, you just have to watch the sketch. It's me utilizing Miss Rachel as a tool as the mirror. So the way that I get into these people's skin is like it's all character work, right? So you have to think about the character thoughts and how they. Oh, Erica Kirk. Oh my God, I forgot about that. I forgot that I do that. I forgot that I do that.
Widow Kirk.
It's a lot of
exclusively refer to her as the Widow Kirk here.
Yeah, it's a lot of this.
Ooh.
A lot of. Oh, did I tell? Oh my God, Candace Owens liked my video.
Girl.
Yeah, Candace Owens. I mean, listen.
You're on the radar.
Listen, broken clock right twice a day. Okay. I know. But anyway, so Candace. Anyway, so she liked she liked the one. Yeah, she liked the video I made about the Air Force. And I feel like the thing is about these people is that they're so easy for me and for us to figure out their motives. So I just say the quiet parts out loud because we're watching. They think they're so slick, but we have eyes and pattern recognition, and we see what you're motivated by: money.
Right.
Like at first, I wasn't going to touch Erica Kirk, like all of us, right? Because it's like, because we didn't have information, but her behavior is something that needs to be, and that's what comedy does for me in this forum, in this way. Satire, you're holding up a mirror to this like shadow behavior by exaggerating it. They're making it very hard for me to exaggerate it because all of this is like idiocracy.
Yeah.
But I think that I have found that people have said to me that they are able to digest.
Yeah.
Like just the way that you deliver news in your tone, it just eases a little bit of the nervous system to be able to, and I think that people have told me that they feel less alone, they feel less crazy because I at least am saying like this is crazy. And so exactly. And for me it helps me process. That's how I process things. And then when I read the comments, I'm like, okay, I'm not alone. So we're all doing that. Like that's a blessing of social media where we can connect that way, even though we're not talking with our audience personally, but we're connecting with people and you're like, oh my God, we have community, which is really great.
I know. A lot of the mainstream media people are like, do you read your comments? And I'm like, every single one of them. I read all my comments. And they're like, I don't read comments. And I'm like, well, your comments are me. My comments are community.
I don't read my DMs.
Well, the DMs get weird, but I'll read. Yeah. I do get a lot of really good tips in the DMs, though. I mean, what I do is like a little bit different. So sometimes I'll get like a small story, like about we got a story from Bucks County about these teenagers who were attacked by an off-duty police officer when they were doing their little high school protest. You know, let the high school kids protest. This is what this is for. Pushing against the boundaries of society. They wanted to protest ICE coming to their school. Let them do it. Those are children. Leave them alone. Let them have their moment.
Do their thing.
And they're still in a sheltered environment where we're doing a school walkout or something like that. It's teaching them about civics. It's a life lesson. Like, let them do it. This guy shows up, starts a fight with them, starts hitting on them. They start hitting back. They arrested 5 of the kids, put them in juvenile detention. These are like rural suburban kids. Okay. They had no history. Like I don't know. Like you shouldn't put any children in jail, but they locked them up
literally
for a whole weekend. And they're like in there with violent criminal children also, right? So there is, there's some stuff that was going on.
Danger. Yeah.
And we were able to get the story out because that's not something that's necessarily going to get picked up, like this small high school thing that's going on. And now, they're going to sue that sheriff and whatnot. But the DMs can be good for stuff like that. But I always read the comments for the community because it's conversation between
for sure.
That's why I wanted to do this space and have chat enabled. I can only see your chat, though, if you're on the YouTube. Those are the only ones that show up for me. So next time you watch the live stream, please watch it from YouTube so you can comment. We can put your comments on stage because I want people to just talk back to me. I don't want to be alone.
Yeah. And I think I've started hopping. I need to do YouTube also, but like that's why sometimes I go and do like get readies with me on TikTok live.
Yeah. I'll like them.
Yeah, I'll go and like just do my makeup. That way I'm not by myself and then people it's really, and then I put my big like Christy Gnome eyelashes and I do them in character for a little bit and then I'll go do my sketch. It's fun.
Yeah. It is fun. And I think if we have these spaces, to be live with people and chat, that's a little less time that the manosphere or the mainstream media or terrorists can occupy your brain space. We could just hold a little space for us to hang out and kiki.
Yeah, we need that because everything is so bleak if we don't allow time for joy.
I know. So we've got good news on Thursdays. Tomorrow is a police scanner. Veronica Carey.
And you know what? And you know what? I hope she gets there.
I hope she does too.
I hope she gets
tomorrow we're doing this thing that I'm really excited about that I've wanted to do for years that I'm calling Police Scanner. So my mom, again, Maureen, we love her, up in Connecticut, sitting around housewifing, taking care of us. When we would go to school, her girlfriends would come over and there was like 12 of them. They'd sit around the table, listen to the police scanner, drink coffee and talk shit about everybody in our town. And so tomorrow we're having true crime with History in 60. Now that's our place to talk about stuff like the Epstein files and other things, but it's also to talk about petty crimes on the police scanner. I want to know, did Cindy throw Bill's clothes out on the lawn again? And then if it really got juicy, my mom would put us in the car and then we would drive around and look for the police.
That's funny.
Original citizen reporter. And thank you everyone on YouTube welcoming the TikTokers.
That's where you got your hunger for reporting. It's genetic.
It's that in the Ricky Lake show. My whole style of talking is being like, this freak ass thing is happening.
Have you met Ricky?
I have. Ricky Lake is very important to me as a person because Ricky Lake was always cheering for gay people. Even when they were on her show in a more salacious way, she was always on their side and the audience was always on their side. And I just love that about Ricky. And she's just so genuinely a cool ass person. We're going to try to do something soon in New York in person, but she's so dope. She really is like one of those.
And Hairspray. Hello.
Hairspray. Yes. You meet her and you're like, wow, you just are magical. Like there is something special about her. That's good to see. No,
I adore her. I think that a lot of my my desire to do comedy and be good at like knowing the news stuff comes from my family lineage of being nosy.
Yeah.
Where I'm just nosy and I love to chat.
Yeah. Same. I don't even always have an opinion on things, but I'm interested to
I want to know. I'm locked in. I'm listening. Yeah. You telling me what? He broke up with her for what? Girl, tell me everything. I need to know.
There's this podcast called Normal Gossip where they literally read from like people's Nextdoor app and say stuff like, oh my God, you're not going to believe this lady doesn't bring in her garbage cans and I need you to know about it. And I'm like, I want to know. Yeah.
Tell me everything.
Tell me everything. Is she a bitch? Does she have a dog? Does she not pick up after her dog?
Do we hate her?
Do we hate her? Do we love her? Her husband left her? Okay. I need to know about that. I need to know about everything.
Yeah. No, I have to.
So great chatting with you. Thanks for just like taking time to shoot the shit with me today. We just had a good time.
Oh my God. Thank you guys for hanging out with me at the airport.
Yeah. Tell people about your show tonight because this is a very good show. Third spaces are important.
Okay.
Showing up is important.
Okay, guys. So I have a couple of shows that are coming up. Tonight, I'm in Philadelphia for Star Spangled Banter. So if you're in the area, please come. We're at the Punchline in Philly. Great comedians, Jay Jerd and Jenny Zagrino, and some special guests from creators that will be there. And then I have another show that I just put on my calendar in Minneapolis. So Minneapolis on the 29th of this month, I'm going to be at Sisyphus Brewing for like comedy and conversation. So I'm also going to have some creator friends there. We're going to do some comedy, and all of that's going to go to this really wonderful organization, a grassroots organization called Open Market. What they do is they make sure to get food to people.
Good.
It's like literally, and what I want to go to Minneapolis to like see what's going on, because their organizing is incredible, and I want to see and help with what they do. But they basically like need money and amplification of their program, so then they can get more funding to be able to feed people. Because from what they said, there's people that are still suffering because of like the cuts to Medicaid and SNAP, job loss, and also fear of leaving their homes because of ICE presence. So it's all of that's baked into it. But these people are able to feed their community through the organization and that their work. So we're going to benefit them and have also a good night of fun. So if you're in all those tickets, all those links are in my bio.
Perfect. You guys got to come up and do a Rochester show. I'm telling you,
Oh,
Rochester sells out. Like people up here love to go to shit. We go to everything.
Okay.
So I'll help you. Comedy at the Carlson is the spot here. I can connect you guys if you want, but
connect me, because I would love to go to Rochester.
All right. Thank you again, Lisandra.
Thank you
watch
for having me.
everywhere
Thank you,
on
everybody.
all the channels, and we'll have you back soon. Good luck with your show tonight, and fingers crossed for safe travel.
All right. Thank you. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.